Okay, currently at Musquodoboit Harbor. I'm just going to take the 357 north to New Glasgow. Anyway, let's take a little ride. Beautiful day here today in Nova Scotia. 13 degrees currently, heading to 17 in an hour or so. Very light winds. And for the next little while, the little breeze I got's in my back, so should be a nice ride on the 357. It'll follow the Musquodoboit River, basically. It's currently on my right. We'll cross over it a couple times, I'm sure. I'm not sure what the road conditions are like. First time I've done this road this year. So, I am expecting some farm equipment popping on and off the road with the usual dropping of the soil, so it could make it a little dangerous if you enter the highway on the curves and that. I'm not expecting too much wildlife. May see a deer. So far this morning, I've done 75 kilometers basically from Halifax to Musquodoboit, and it's about 1:30 from here to New Glasgow. Back home, and then I'll probably do about 400 kilometers today. Very nice day for a ride. Everybody's out working the gardens. There's the river. My apologies, I lost my mic. It was all static the rest of the video, so I'll try to throw a few comments back in as I review the video there. Yeah, it was a pretty nice ride. The river here is it's pretty high this time of year. Actually, it's the highest time I've ever seen it, but it's a pretty nice ride along this river. We'll cross it a couple of times before we get to Upper Musquodoboit. And once we get up past there, we get to 289. There's actually another river system. It's the Scotia River. It's also a pretty nice river. Lots of people fishing along there today, and some boating activity, and everybody's trying to get out, get some time outdoors. Anyway, I'll add some music, try to add some more commentary as we go along. It's pretty disappointing to have lost the audio. That's twice now this has happened to me. So I'm going to swap out the mic I got to see if I can start using the boom mic and see if that works any better. Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. You get home review and all you got static. So you've been talking to yourself for basically all day. One good thing today is traffic is really light. It's Friday around noontime, going into a long weekend, so I was expecting more traffic, but hey, I'll take it. And yeah, this road, the road condition is really bad on this one. There's some areas I would probably rate it at about 60% of where it should be. There's some other sections that are pretty good, but you really gotta keep your attention on the road if you're doing this highway. It's a 357. Lots of dangerous areas for sure. This road winds its way along between the river and the hills on each side. It's really traveling up a valley here, the Musquodoboit Valley, and probably about 10-15 kilometers from here you run into, it starts to open up, and then you get into farmland. There's a couple small communities you pass through, some really nice riding there, especially in the fall of the year. The colors here are just phenomenal, beautiful. Few pickup trucks there. Looks like the guys are back into their cabins for the long weekend, enjoying some rest and relaxation. Yeah, I hit some pretty good bumps along the road today. Matter of fact, I ended up blowing out my fork seals, so got to get those things fixed up for sure. I haven't done the seal replacement before, but watched some videos on YouTube. Didn't seem to be too bad. Check that out. Try to get that done before too long. May try freeze framing a few bikes to see if anyone recognized themselves during the ride. Come to a community called Meagher's Grant now, named after Captain Martin Maker. And crossing over the Musquodoboit River for the first time. Supposed to be a golf course in this area called River Oaks Golf Course and Lodge. So the river is on the left there now, and I'm getting ready to hit the first of the real good bumps I hit during the day. This is a pretty nice area right here. The river is right alongside the road on the left, and then on the right there's a walking trail. So you know, you need a break or whatever, or it's a nice place to stop and try some fishing or get a little exercise in, whatever you're up to. So looks like the community actually starts right about there, and right now we're kind of getting out of the valley, and it's going to open up into farmland right about now. There's some really nice turns on this road. Some of them are really sharp. They come up on you kind of sudden. There's one, this one's not too bad, but maybe 10 kilometers down the road, there's a couple of really nasty ones. You gotta know, gotta be aware of them. Gonna need to slow way down. It's May 15th, and people are getting the first grass cuts in for the year. There's a few of these scenarios on this road too, where the house is on one side of the road, and then immediately across the road, just outside the white line, it seems like, is the barn, and certainly can add for some dangerous situations. So I'm not sure if the house was built first and then the road and the barn, or if it was all built and the road went through. I don't know. Strange. Just getting ready to cross over the Musquodoboit River again, and then the community of Elderbank. And it's right about there. There's a junction between 357 and the 212. And if you 212 is going to be on the left hand side, and that will take you back to Halifax, and it also take you past the Dollar Lake Provincial Park. So if you're camping, it's a very popular camping place. And there's the road just coming up right here on the left. So from here on in, there's a couple of sharp turns, one I mentioned earlier, coming up right away, and the road improves too. The pavement gets much better for the next little while there. There's another road coming up here on the left, and I've never ever taken it, so I'll have to plan that trip a little later on this year. Now we're heading back over the Musquodoboit River again, and then we're going to go through a series of some pretty neat turns. And there's a little picnic area on the left-hand side coming up after the turns here. I've stopped here a few times myself for a little break. It's right next to the river. Awesome little place to stop and get the kids out of the car or whatever. And you gotta be careful not to blink because you'll miss it. It's easy to drive right by this little place. So we're just coming up on the sign for Middle Musquodoboit. And pretty much all farmland for the next little while. I'll try increasing the film speed here for a little bit, see how that works. Maybe shorten up the length a little bit. So about ready to join up to the 224 highway. So the 357 now becomes the 224. And that'll take you from middle Musquodoboit to upper Musquodoboit. There's a little provincial park coming up on the right hand side of the road here. Also, the second bad bump of this ride, I think this is where I actually blew the my seal front fork. Here it is right here. That one is actually very dangerous. The province highway should have that fixed. Very dangerous. Now entering the community of Elmsvale. Another one of those don't blink and you'll miss it kind of things. Beautiful stand of pines there. I see a couple of those along this road actually. Some sort of planting program or something. Time to flip the cruising pegs down here for a little bit of a stretch. Stretch it out a little bit. Coming up on the Moose Land and the Moose River gold mine areas here coming up on the right. It's an old gold mining area, recently reactivated. Apparently there's still a lot of gold in the area. Open pit mine. Entering the community of Greenwood. Looks like a pulp plant coming up here on the right. Entering the community of Upper Musquodoboit, and the highway changes from the 224 to the 336 until you join with the 289 further along. Highway on the right here will take you down to Sheet Harbor. So if I would have continued from Halifax past Musquodoboit, where I started this morning, for another 70 kilometers along the coastline, that road would connect up with it there, so you could do a little loop there if you wanted to. This next little stretch from here to where the highway, where this road joins 289, is one of my favorite parts of this ride today. The pavement was good, and nice road, windy roads, beautiful scenery. So yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of this ride today. So we're entering the Stewiacke Valley now, and we'll see the Stewiacke River alongside the road for a little while. It's a pretty nice river as well. just about to the intersection of the 289 now, and I'm going to pull over, stretch, have a little walk around, get back on the bike, and I think it's about 40 kilometers from there to New Glasgow. So we'll been having a little trouble with the camera. I'm not sure how much footage I got. It'll last a little bit here. Getting ready to cross over the Scotia River here, and then I'll travel with the river on the side for a little ways. It's kind of nice. I always like riding with the river close by. Makes for some beautiful scenery. Okay, so just about ready to take a right turn there to New Glasgow. Should be about 50 kilometers. So I've done 80 since Musquodoboit Harbor. And the sun's coming out, she's warming up. Turned into a real nice day. So yeah. Oh, it looks like a little a 90 kilometer zone here. Didn't realize that. Yeah, the wind's picked up a little bit. Traffic has been light so far today. Hopefully that keeps up. Some horses. Scotia River. I haven't done this road too much. I think I've only, maybe only did it once before. So far the pavement on this 289 is much better than the previous roads I did there. What a beautiful river, eh? Still getting some transport traffic on this one. Yeah, pavement conditions probably, well, I'd probably say 90% of what they should be. And just as I said, that looks like a bad one there. Not too bad. The camera decided to quit working here just a few seconds later here, and so I didn't get around probably the last 20 kilometers of the trip to New Glasgow, but it's all pretty much like you see right here, forced right to the highway for the remainder of the trip. Thanks for joining. Subscribe, like, thanks.